everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited to be back. If you follow my journey on any of my social media, you'll know that I have been very sick on and off since April of this year, but I am finally better with God's grace and healing. So I'm so excited to jump back into recording these videos for you guys. So today we are going to be talking about signs of fluid retention. So I have here 6 to 7 signs that you can look for that will let you know when dealing with congestive heart failure if you are retaining fluid. So, as you know, with congestive heart failure, your heart struggles to pump blood to the rest of your body and your organs. So when this happens, it causes your kidneys to go on high alert, and it signals hormones throughout your body that tells your body to hold on to any fluid or water that you may have. And so this can be very, very dangerous because when your body accumulates too much fluid, it can crowd around your heart, you can fill up your lungs, your liver. So as a heart failure patient, it is very, very important that you monitor your fluid. So the first sign of edema, which is also fluid retention, you will hear those used interchangeably. So the first sign that you want to look for is weight gain. What you want to do is monitor your weight daily. It's advised that you weigh yourself every morning as soon as you wake up, because that is your dry weight. And if you are gaining 2 to 3 pounds a day or 5 pounds within a week, that is a sign that your body is holding on to fluid. If you do notice that, you do want to reach out to your doctor so that they'll be aware of the situation and they can adjust your diuretics or bring you in, whatever it is that they need to do. Number 2, so with heart failure, when you experience edema, you will get swelling. Most people get the swelling in their legs, in their arms, in their hands, their feet, most of the time the extremities. So what you want to do is, there's a test that you can do daily with your legs and your ankles. So you want to take your index finger and you're going to go to the center of your lower leg and you're going to press in firmly. When you press in on your leg, if it leaves an indentation, that is a sign that you are retaining fluid. So you definitely want to watch out for that. Number 3, nausea. So when your body is holding on to all of this fluid, it can cause you to feel very nauseous. You may experience this especially when you're moving around. I know for myself in my journey, when I'm walking, when my body is holding on to fluid, it causes me to be very nauseous. Sometimes it's even gotten to the point where I've actually vomited. So you want to pay attention when you have some of these other symptoms accompanied with the nausea. That could be a sign that you're holding on to fluid. Number 4, cough. So when you have congestive heart failure, of course your body gets congested with fluid, and when the fluid backs up so much, it can back up into your lungs. When this happens, it'll cause you to have a continuous dry cough. It doesn't matter if you're running, if you're walking. You could be sitting down just watching a normal television show. You'll constantly have a dry cough and feel the need to clear your throat, or like a itchy feeling in the back of your throat, like you need to cough. This is a sign that you have had so much fluid build up that has now backed up into your lungs. If this happens to you, you need to call your doctor immediately. 9 times out of 10, you will need to go into the hospital to get diuretics. Sometimes doctors will prescribe medicines, very strong diuretics like Bumex. There's another one that I've never taken before, but I know for a fact Bumex will have you in the bathroom every 2 minutes. You literally might as well sleep on the toilet because you will continuously go. But sometimes doctors like to monitor you, and they also like to monitor how much fluid they're pulling off of you. So when you're in the hospital, it's easier to do so, and they can monitor and measure how much your output is. So if you are experiencing that hacking, dry cough constantly, whether you're sitting still or walking, you definitely want to reach out to your doctor as soon as possible. Number 5 would be fatigue. So when your body is congested with all of this fluid, it can cause you to be extremely tired, drowsy, lethargic, like an overall heaviness feeling. You might not have the willingness to do some of the things that you normally do. You definitely want to watch out for this, because that can attribute to you being stationary, and then you'll want to drink more water, more fluid, and things like that. So you want to be mindful. If you're experiencing fatigue accompanied with some of these other symptoms, reach out to your doctor. Number 6, shortness of breath. As a heart failure patient, shortness of breath is one of the number one things you will deal with. It will cause you to stop in your tracks. Sometimes you can experience shortness of breath by just sitting still, and you'll feel like you're not getting enough oxygen. This is attributed to, again, the fluid backing up into your lungs. So you're not fully taking in enough oxygen as someone who does not have that fluid backed up into their lungs. So, as I stated before, you want to be mindful. If you're having the shortness of breath, I recommend calling your doctor immediately. It's not really something that you want to wait on. It could be you're retaining fluid. It could be a sign of other things that are going on. So doctors tend to really take shortness of breath seriously, because it can definitely affect your overall quality of life. And last, number 7. It's such an odd number. I don't know how I ended up with 7. I tried to stick with 5, but 7 is what I came up with, because each and every one of these are important. With me, I struggled with fluid retention so bad the first 3 years of my heart failure. When I say I have over 150 hospitalizations just for fluid retention, I would literally be in the hospital just for them to pull fluid off of me. It got so bad that my doctor recommended a device that I have now called a cardio-MEMS, and we'll talk about that in another video. It is definitely a lifesaver. So when you are having so much fluid build up on you, everybody does not get the fluid in their legs, in their feet, in their hands. I personally get the fluid buildup in my stomach. I will be so bloated, stomach extended. I'll have that heaviness, that shortness of breath, that fatigue. And when your stomach bloats like that, that is a sign that the fluid has backed up so much, it's now in your liver. When I get like that, and I'm speaking personally from my experience, I have to go to the hospital. There is not a diuretic not Lasix, not Torsemide, not even Bumex that can pull that fluid off of me. I have to go to the hospital and get my diuretic through an IV. And usually I will be in the hospital maybe 2 to 3 days just to monitor me, see how much my output is. Luckily, I have not been hospitalized for edema in a very long time. Since I have my cardio-MEMS, it is definitely a life-saving device. It helps me to keep an eye on how much fluid that I'm actually retaining. And like I said, I'll do a video of the cardio-MEMS and the actual pillow that you lay on, and it sends your measurements to your doctor. So these are the top 7 signs from my personal experience dealing with congestive heart failure that I am having a fluid retention problem. As I stated before, reach out to your doctor. Your medical teams are the experts. They will be able to lead you and guide you. I know plenty of heart failure patients. The majority of them are on some sort of fluid restriction dealing with congestive heart failure. But I also have friends from all over the world, and some of them are not. They are able to manage their fluid, and they're actually not even on diuretics. Currently, I'm still on diuretics. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle still a little bit with measuring how much I'm actually taking in. Over the years, I've gotten a lot better. Like I said, I haven't been hospitalized for edema in a very long time, but it's definitely a learning process. And that's my reason for doing this, just to help someone else, because when I was first diagnosed, there was no one out there that looked like me, that was young like me, that I could relate to on the internet dealing with congestive heart failure. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this video is not too long. I'll definitely try to keep them under 10 minutes. If you're not subscribed, I hope that you will consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for another video.